Well, here we go. Arizona's Katie Hobbs is in some hot water as internal email leaks reveal that her office colluded with Twitter officials to silence so-called election misinformation. We're going to take an in-depth look at the leaked emails. We're going to see how lawmakers are now calling for federal investigations, and stick with me at the very end of this video when I'll reveal precisely why this may all be just the tip of the iceberg. You are not going to want to miss this. Another culprit has been exposed as part of the ongoing saga known as the Twitter files released by Elon Musk. We now know that on January 7th, 2021, the communications director for Katie Hobbs' Secretary of State office emailed an organization known as the Center for Internet Security, an organization that deals with supposed online misinformation. The subject line in the email was election-related misinformation, and the email reads, "I'm flagging this Twitter account for your review." Again, this is from Katie Hobbs, communications director. The Misinformation Department at CIS, the Center for Internet Security, then forwarded the message along to an employee at Twitter, writing, quote, "Please see this report below from the Arizona Secretary of State office. Please let me know if you have any questions." Twitter wrote back, "Thank you, we will escalate." About 7 hours later, a Twitter employee wrote back, "Thank you, both tweets have been removed from the service." And interestingly, copied on this response was an employee at the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, which is a branch under the federal government's Department of Homeland Security. Christina Bobb of One America News basically summarized the revelations by tweeting out, "Unreal. Katie Hobbs' office contacts Twitter to have posts removed. So the Democrat candidate who ran the Arizona election censored her political opponents, disrupted election day votes, and then threatened counties with prosecution if they didn't declare her the winner." Now, that latter point, of course, stems from revelations that Katie Hobbs' office threatened to arrest Mojave County Board of Supervisors if they didn't certify the 2022 election by Monday's deadline. This according to documents obtained by the Daily Caller. The Mojave County Board of Supervisors were, of course, like many others, very concerned about the insane number of irregularities and interruptions that occurred throughout Maricopa County on Election Day, as well as the slow walking of results and stonewalling of handing over information on precisely just how bad the Election Day disruptions and irregularities were. So Katie Hobbs, remember, refused to recuse herself from overseeing the election and therefore, by implication, was in charge of counting her opponent's votes. We now know that Katie Hobbs has a history of colluding with Twitter to actively suppress political opinions that she didn't like. And now we're seeing a comparable weaponization of the law in order to silence what many believe to be legitimate dissent, given her own electoral incompetence. Kari Lake, of course, has responded to these revelations, tweeting out simply, "Conflict of interest, coercion, and corruption." Marjorie Taylor Greene, who, if you remember, was actually suspended indefinitely from Twitter under the old woke regime, she wasn't having any of this. She tweeted out, "The Secretary of State of Arizona and governor candidate Katie Hobbs used the power of the Arizona Secretary of State to collude with Twitter to unconstitutionally violate First Amendment rights of Americans for her own political gain. This is communism and Hobbs cannot be governor. I'm calling for a federal investigation." Todd Starnes tweeted out another Twitter bombshell. Arizona Secretary of State Katie Hobbs was in regular communication with Twitter, telling them who to censor, and Twitter complied. Arrest them all. And to that end, Republican Representative Troy Nehls on Friday assured patriots across the nation that investigations are indeed coming into the involvement that government officials have had in censorship campaigns at Twitter. And over the weekend, Speaker of the House hopeful Kevin McCarthy said that investigations need to be extended to Facebook and Google as well.
Lie to the American public. What Elon Musk has been able to do, now we know why the White House wanted to fight so strongly against him owning Twitter. All he's done is put out the truth. Now we need to start looking at Facebook, at Google. These now have become arms of the Democratic Party, arms of the Biden administration. But they also used the intel community as well to lie to the American public. Should those people keep their clearances? Should those people still be allowed to have information? If they're going to be political individuals, then no, they should not. And this is just the tip of the iceberg of what we need to investigate going forward.
And so investigations are coming. And, with all of these ridiculous corruptions going on in plain sight, I shouldn't have been surprised when I was recently shown just how easy it is to actually access the deed to my house, and not just access it, but actually change it. I mean, if you don't know, the deed to your homes is the only document you have that proves you own it. But the problem is that the deeds to all our homes are now all online, and criminals are free to find your deed, forge your signature, and refile as a new homeowner and take tons of loans out using your home's equity and, of course, sticking you with all the debt. And don't expect homeowners insurance to bail you out, because it doesn't. And that is where our amazing friends over at Home Title Lock come in. Gang, they're absolutely amazing. Home Title Lock gives you the peace of mind that the deed to your home is absolutely and completely protected. And they want to help you right away, right now. So just click on the link below, use promo code TurleyTalks. Then all you have to do is enter your address for your no obligation home title scan to see if you've already been a victim of deed theft. That's a $100 value, absolutely totally free, but that's only if you use my promo code TurleyTalks. Gang, don't wait. I'm in the process right now getting my home deed secured. Make sure you do the same for you and your loved ones. Click on that link below right now and secure your home today. Now, as I noted, this rather damning revelation about Katie Hobbs is all part of what's being called the Twitter files, right? Over the weekend, Elon Musk released what promises to be just the first of many more massive bombshells to come against the whole of the establishment. We're talking the deep state, right? The three-letter agencies, Democratic Party operatives, and of course, big tech, all in terms of how they collude with one another. Elon made the first dump of emails and internal communications within Twitter available to Substack journalist Matt Taibbi over the weekend, who published them in a torrent of tweets, a thread of just over 40 tweets, revealing the inner workings of how Twitter employees, politicians, and deep state operatives colluded together to deliberately censor the New York Post Hunter Biden laptop bombshell that exploded on the scene in October of 2020. We now know, of course, that the FBI had Hunter Biden's laptop in their possession for months before November 2020. We know that they knew that it was genuine, that it was for real, and that the information contained in the laptop, particularly in relation to Sleepy Joe's involvement with Hunter Biden's illicit business dealings, the big guy and all, was enough to implode the Biden campaign. So even though all of this was known, nevertheless, those same FBI officials regularly met with Twitter employees as well as Facebook employees and tipped them off to a supposedly impending Russian disinformation campaign involving Joe Biden that they needed to look out for and censor. And then boom, the New York Post reveals the Hunter Biden laptop, and literally immediately Twitter sprung into action, suppressed the story. They shut down the New York Post Twitter account for freaking 2 weeks. They even shut down the then White House spokesperson Kayleigh McEnany's Twitter account just for daring to share the story. And then, of course, right on cue, 50 former intelligence officers all signed a letter declaring that the laptop was nothing more than Russian disinformation, which they all knew was untrue. They all knew they were lying when they said that. We now have all the internal communications behind the scenes at Twitter that shows just how deep this collusion between the deep state, Democrat politicians, and social media went. And this Katie Hobbs revelation is just the tip of the iceberg, or as Elon Musk put it, more smoking guns are on the way. So we'll certainly be keeping our eyes on how things develop here with the ongoing Twitter files, but there's no question the jig is up. The cat is out of the bag, and the establishment is ripe for a massive implosion. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You'll definitely want to check out my latest video on mass layoffs as woke CNN implodes. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to click on that link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.